If you're not resting, you're planning to crash out. Here's what happens to your creativity when you don't get your rest, and here's how to avoid burnout from the constant grind. What happens to your body when you are overworking yourself and on the brink of burnout? Well, for one, you are weakening your immune system by not getting your rest. When your body does not have time to rest, it ends up breaking down and systems are not functioning the way that they should. So during times like this, you might notice that you have headaches more frequently, you might develop a cold, you might develop sore throats, you might have body aches and pains, and overall, your immune system is just weakened, and so your body feels the effects of not resting. And of course, because your body is an instrument, your vocal performance is going to be affected. So this affects your voice and your energy. Like I said, you might suffer from a sore throat or dry throat or itchy throat, and your energy might be down because you're tired, you're achy, and you just don't feel like creating. Overall, a weakened immune system is not a good thing for a creative. It's not good for anybody. For two, you are worsening your cognitive function, which means that your brain is basically not functioning at tip-top shape and not at its full potential. What happens when you are not resting is your brain has not had an opportunity to reboot, to shut down, to cement certain synapses and connections in the mind. If you learned anything new, you're not retaining it because the brain has not had time to process it. Again, this could turn into headaches, which might also turn into not thinking straight. And especially as a songwriter and an artist, you need your mind to be fresh and you need your mind to be sharp so that you can come up with all the brilliant creative ideas that you have. If you can't think straight enough to write a song, you're not allowing your creativity to flow. And that can be even more frustrating and cause more problems. So for three, you are less creative when you are tired. Here is something that I hope really sticks with you as a creative. If you don't learn how to rest and shut yourself down, your body is going to shut you down for you. So make sure that you are building in certain systems to make sure you are not reaching that level of burnout and crash. So how do you rest and avoid burnout? Set boundaries and you stand on them. Something that is really scary about working as a creative in the creative and entertainment spaces is that unfortunately, a lot of times we don't really know when our next client is going to come through, when our next payment is going to come through, especially if you are a freelancer and you rely on your creativity for your job the way that I do, like I'm an engineer. So it can be really difficult to want to set aside certain days or certain times when you are just not available. But in order for you to avoid burnout and to make sure that you get some rest, you have to dedicate either a certain day where you are untouchable or 2 days that you're untouchable. Or if you're not able to allocate one day where you're untouchable, at least make sure that you are getting a window of time within each day to have to yourself. For me, it's the morning times. Now, my window for when I don't want to be disturbed is going to be from 10 p.m. until 10 a.m. You have from 10 a.m. until 10 p.m. to call me, to text me, to book a session, to send money, to confirm anything that we're doing for the day, for the next day, or for the near future. If you don't catch me before 10 p.m., we're not going to make it happen that day. That's just my rule. And that's what makes me feel the most like I'm taking care of myself and like I'm making myself a priority. And if any of you are engineers out there, you know, sometimes these artists do not have the best relationship with boundaries. They don't have the best respect for other people's times. So especially if you are in service of an artist like an audio engineer, it is very important to make sure you are hashing out what time do I need to make sure that I can set myself up for success for the rest of the day, for the rest of the week, what have you. So again, if you can't carve out a specific day or a couple of days each week for you to rest, because maybe you're not at the level where you know when your slow days are, maybe you build out a system so that there is a dedicated window each day. For me, 6 a.m. when I wake up until about 10 a.m. in the morning is when I am ready to accept calls and really be open to the world. So figure out what that is for you and then implement it and stand on it. Another way to avoid burnout and to make sure you are getting your rest. Unfortunately, creatives can be some of the most unorganized people in the world, but I implore you, I beg you, please learn how to make use of the calendar apps that are available on your phone. Most of these devices already come with Apple Calendar or a Google Calendar. If you don't have those things, you can download it. They are totally free and they are usually linked to your email address. Make use of your calendar. So the same way that I would block out time on my calendar so that I know that on Tuesday at 4 o'clock, I have a vocal lesson that I'm teaching, I'm also going to block out my rest day or my fun time, whatever I need to make sure that I am still living life and not just always only in the studio, you know? So if I know that I want to go visit the museum, for example, it's First Friday and it's music night at the High Museum, and I want to make sure I get to that because that's something fun and I haven't had fun in a while. Well, on my calendar, I'm going to block off my time 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. This is the allocated time that I've given myself. Nobody can touch this and I'm not taking sessions. I need this time for me to feel rejuvenated and to feel like I still have a life outside of the studio. Do the same thing with your fun day, with your rest time. We often make the mistake of not planning when we're resting or not planning when to have fun because it's not the sexiest thing. People try to really play up the whole, oh, I want to be spontaneous. But if you are not planning to rest, then you are planning to crash out. So make sure you're making use of your calendar and block those times off. The third way to make sure you are getting your rest and avoiding burnout is to say no to unpleasant clients or unpleasant events. Say no to things that you know are going to drain you. If you know it's going to take too much energy and you don't have the mental capacity to deal with that thing or with that person, you need to be okay with saying no. As a matter of fact, get used to saying no a lot. Not to the point that you're missing your quotas and people stop calling you, of course. I know that's a fear for a lot of us creatives, but if you genuinely feel like you just cannot take on whatever is being asked of you in the moment or, during that week, because you might have too much going on, it is okay to say no. Thank you for tuning in to LexChat. If this helped you, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. In the comments, let me know what topics you want to chat about next. My name is LexC. Until then, peace.
Even though I got my way, she's over and says she wants me. Fly to the left, looking fly to the right. We ain't really drunk, but we feeling alright. With our drinks in our hand, we can share the spotlight. Ignore the imitators, cause we know it's not right. We gon' slide left, slide right. Get yourself together, we can do this all night. Let the left do it, right, do it. Put them both together, we about to get into it. Go. Life we live for granted. So pull it on up, take a shot.